Hey, Shalom, Akim Shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachakwarash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. And Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom. All right, what you're looking at here is a chart showing you some of the methods that Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, has been using to try to reflect radiation from the sun back into space in order to do his weather modifications. Okay, the chart says methods for modifying Earth's radiation budget. They got space-based methods, stratospheric aerosol injection methods, SAI, okay, which, that's those chemtrails you be seeing in the sky. Uh-huh. And then marine cloud brightening, okay, which they have the ability to make artificial clouds. It says surface albedo enhancement, okay, whatever that means, right? Which is a chart I got from this video here of this prepper guy, Patrick Humphrey. A lot of time he gave us some good updates about, what's going on in the world. So we're just going to watch a quick segment of this video. Lord's will, this lesson be edifying, We'll watch a quick segment and then go into some scriptures, Lord will. So I'm going to go to the beginning here.
This is big breaking news. Governments are now announcing that they are going to give tens of millions of dollars to change the weather, change the earth, and release chemicals and potentially even pollutants into the sky, into the air, and change the environment and even block out the sun. That is what's being announced right now. Let's get into all the details here really quick, guys. Please just hit that like and hit that subscribe. I'm posting every day, keeping you guys updated on this big news, and it just helps to get these alerts out. I appreciate that. So right now, we have multiple things going on, but the big story is that coming out of the UK, the government there has just announced that they are putting over $50 million into, quote, blocking out the sun, quote, dimming the sun. This has been approved by the federal government in the UK, and this is going to be a federal government program there. This is absolutely insane because the UK, from what I've seen people comment down below, from what I've read, from just what I've seen from pictures and videos, it already seems like this is a cloudy place. It already seems like it's relatively cloudy here and not very sunny, right? I've seen people say multiple times whenever there is a sunny day, they feel like the sun is then just blocked out, right? And I've people say that in the U.S. here all the time too, but now they're admitting, yes, we have this program. They've already been doing this for decades, but now it's official, and they are allocating over $50 million to do this. All right, and the UK is not that big; it's only the size of a state essentially in the United States, and $50 million is a lot of resources to be blocking out the sun here, right? So it's going to affect the weather, it's going to make things colder. They're also saying that they have been doing this as well through
This is fair
shipping,
use.
right?
This is fair use for educational purposes only.
They release sulfur dioxide into the air to brighten the clouds, okay? And they're also releasing, or they release salts into the air to brighten the clouds. Certain salts, not sulfur dioxide, but they release sulfur dioxide to block out the sun for this dimming. It's one of the main things that they release, and sulfur dioxide actually creates acid rain. Okay, so it's potentially making the environment more acidic and making the soil more acidic.
Yeah, you see this man is a menace to life. You see? I just made my last video about that. All right, talking about, I made reference to what he was doing with the clams. All right, and the last video I talked about was, how men and women aren't coming together to have children like they used to, right? Because this devil is stressing everybody out, robbing the people blind, all right? Especially you Israelites, okay? You gotta work all these hours to live in a cardboard box of a home, okay? You know, and this generation is gonna end up renting for the most part, man, because the dream of buying a home, that shit is done away with, man. All right, even though these homes are all fake, cheaply built, you still can't have one. You gotta rent till you die. You see, that's not conducive to life, man. A human body is not designed to work nonstop and live in a shitty condition, man. All right, and now he's over here changing the weather, trying to block out the sun. You see, this Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is the devil, man, and he thinks he's a god. He thinks he's the Most High, okay, and he's not. He's actually a fool. He's the basest of all men, but because the Lord has put him up in a position of power and authority, Esau, Edom thinks he's a god. Esau, Edom thinks he's the greatest of all nations. All right, but that just shows you the power of the Lord, what he can do with such a base race and put them on top and almost make it seem like they're the most intelligent. All right, because they've got all this technology, they've got all this advancements so quickly. Okay, but it's to show you, you know, what wickedness on a high level looks like on the earth, man. And this is it. This is the sinful, wicked society that will never exist again once Yahweh Shai returns. All right, this place is gonna be done away with and left as a memorial. All right, talking about America. Okay, and you know the UK is part of the beast. Okay, it's very similar to America. It is an Edomite country. Okay, so they're all together. Okay, but yeah, man, this is extreme wickedness, man. All right, this is what we're up against, man. This is why we need Yahweh Shai. All right, we've known that they've been changing the weather for a long time. You got the HARP program. Let me show you that real quick. Salakia, you know, the phone always bugs out when I bring the scriptures out. You see? So here it is, the HARP program. We've known about this for a long time. All right, now they openly admitting it, that they've been spraying aerosols in the sky. You see? So what's up with that contrail bullshit that they've been spewing, talking about, oh, you guys are crazy. No, it's just contrails. It's natural. Well, you just showed me basically that you're the ones spraying those jagged lines across the sky, ruining the horizon, making the sky look ugly. You see, that's you guys doing it, man. There's the heart program, man. All right, let's get Job. Let's get the scriptures. This is Job chapter 30 and verse 8. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. And oftentimes we bring this out to talk about how Esau gets into bestiality and things like that, and Moism. Okay, that's mainly Esau. All right, well, that same disgusting person is the one trying to change the weather. As you can see, he's turning the earth into a fucked up place, man, because he himself is a fucked up person. All right, it says they're children of fools, right? Because who the hell knows what consequence this is gonna bring, man? We already get crazy weather this year. All right, we've been saying that he's been modifying the weather. Right now, he wants to take it a step further and block out the sun. Okay, we know that the sun drives the weather. So if they go a little bit too far or not far enough, what have you, that can cause huge weather disruptions, man. You see? And ultimately, that's the Lord doing it. Okay, the Lord is utilizing Esau to do these things, to bring judgment. Okay, the scripture says that the whirlwind, the Lord has his way in the whirlwind. Whether the whirlwind was natural or man-made, it's ultimately Yahweh Bashem Yahushai doing it. Because the Lord set him up. Okay, this is Daniel 4 and 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones. to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whosoever he will. So the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai controls all things, man, even the king. All right, the scripture says the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. Okay, Donald Trump and all these other uh, authority figures, they're controlled by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right, and the scriptures continue. It says, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basest of men. See, so Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai gave this kingdom to Esau, Edom. All right, which the scriptures confirms in the book of Job. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. All right, who is the wicked? We've said it before. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Okay, and here's telling you that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai set up over this world the basest of men, the lowest of all people, man. Okay, these are the original cave dwellers. Okay, they lived in caves. They lived like beasts. Everything they have, they learned it from us, man, because we're the salt of the earth. Okay? Even bathing. Bathing was not something done by Edomites. You can look up history, man. They always had a bad, stinky smell when they came over here. The Native American Indians taught them how to bathe, all right? And even prior to that, when the so-called black men were ruling in Egypt, or Salakia in Europe, during the time of the Dark Ages, okay, they were teaching Esau things that he never knew. All right, so the Lord raised up this monkey, this cave dweller, to rule the earth. And as you can see, it's unprofitable, man. It doesn't work. Okay, he's destroying the world slowly but surely. Okay, so we need salvation, man. We need Yahweh Shai. This man is not a god. This Edomites, man. All right, this is Revelation 11, verse 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. All right, as Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Okay, they destroying the people's reproductive systems. All right, men's testosterone is at an all-time low. Sperm count is at an all-time low. All right, remember they were taking clams out of the ocean because of overfishing, right? And so their solution was to throw a few clams back in. Now, because of the global warming that they've caused, now they want to reflect the sunlight back out into space and cover the sun up. You see, they're destroying the earth. Esau is not qualified to change the weather. Esau is not qualified to say how much sunlight should get through. He's not the Most High. All right, he doesn't even know how to make a functioning society, man. You think he's going to control something as complex as the weather? All right, this is like playing 5-dimensional chess. He can't even play fucking checkers, man. This man's got to go. This Edomite has got to go, man. This is 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High. You see, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, he thinks he's the Most High, man. And it shows in his sciences, man. It shows in you know, you could go on YouTube and look up modern wonders and shit like that, and they'll go into how great we, in air quotes, are as a society, which what they're really saying is how great so-called white people are, because ever since the Renaissance and this, that, and the third, in modern age, society has grown exponentially from riding horses to now flying spaceships into space and going to the deepest part of the ocean, and computers that keep people connected across the world, and yada, yada, yada. All these different things that people worship about this modern age. Oh, modern medicine and this, that, and the third. But, you know, you have all these things, you have all this technology, but you don't use it for good, man. These devils use it for wickedness, to heap riches unto themselves, while meanwhile they're destroying the whole earth, that in the air and the water that they have to breathe and that they have to drink. So this man, the Lord gave him wisdom as far as technology goes. But this man has no wisdom as far as true wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, man. Because, yeah, he can do all these things, but just because you should do something doesn't mean you, Salakia, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something. You see? There's a difference between being smart and being wise. And Esau is an unwise, unprofitable ruler who the Lord is making an example of, man. Very soon, the Lord is going to destroy this place forever. All right, the scriptures talk about 200 million nuclear missiles, nuclear warheads being dropped here in America from all these different nations that are tired of this horror called Babylon and America. And that's how this place is going to go out, through thermonuclear destruction because of his sins against the Israelites, man. Here he has enslaved our people in order to build this empire. And with all this power, he still hasn't repaid our people for all the labor they've done. And now he's got to set his eyes focus on blocking out the sun. Okay? Esau is mad, and that's another thing. He's mad that we supplanted him, and now we have the blessing. All right? He sold us his birthright because he's a damn fool. And that's another thing, man. He's a damn fool. Look, this is the foolishness of Esau, man. Once you take away all his technology and advancements and you look at what he did in the book of Genesis, it shows you how much of a goddamn fool Esau is, man. Okay, which we'll go into right now. This is Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 16. Lest there be any fornicator as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. You see? Esau, Edom, a so-called white man, sold his future dominance and superiority over Jacob. He sold it to us for meat because he was hungry from going out and hunting, and maybe he didn't have any luck, whatever have you. And so, Jacob said, sell me this day your birthright, and you can have this meat, basically. And Esau sold his birthright. And that's why we will be ruling in the kingdom to come forever. That would have belonged to Esau. The kingdom of heaven would have belonged to Esau, but no, it's ours now because Esau's a damn fool. You see, his decision-making process is fucking retarded, man. And this is the same decision-making process that he uses to this day. Blocking out the sun. Taking clams out of the ocean. Telling women to be the leader of the house. You see? All right, and verse 17 continues, for ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. See, the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, has rejected you Edomites, man. For he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. All right, and he's still seeking it to this day, man, because the scriptures gave Esau a challenge. All right, if you can, and we'll go into it. This is Jeremiah 31 and 35, all right? Basically, the Lord is saying if this happens, then, Israel will no longer be a nation, okay? And that's, if Israel's no longer a nation, then by default, Esau believes that, he's going to get his blessing back, right? But it was never his to begin with, and I made a whole video on that. But this is Jeremiah chapter 31 and verse 35. Thus saith Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai of hosts is his name. If those ordinances depart from before me, saith Yahweh, then the seed of Israel shall cease from being a nation before me forever. See, so Esau Edom believes that if he could block out the sun, if he could, block out the moon and the stars, he believes he's going to get his blessing back. You see? But it's not so, Esau. It was ordained of the Heavenly Father for us to supplant you. You see? We came in clutch through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, supplanted your ass. Okay, and we're gonna come in clutch again, man. From the bottom of the barrel, serving slavery to this day, to being rulers over you forever, man. And you're gonna go back to the bottom where you belong, under our feet in slavery, man. All right, which all these nations are gonna go into slavery, but you, Esau, you're gonna go to the very bottom. All right, the basest of men. You see, the basest of men. This is Psalms chapter 64 and verse 6. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. See, they got these little round table meetings. They're constantly thinking upon their bed in the morning and at night. You know, how can we fuck up Jake today? You see? They're wicked, man. They go deep into it, man. They have pie charts and graphs, and they study these things, and they hire whole teams of people and scientists to do this wickedness for them. As you can see, they've been blocking out the sun. Now they're admitting to it. All right, they've been doing all that stuff. They've been developed all that technology to fly a plane up into a sky and spray aerosols in the air. Okay, you see, that's deep. Verse 7, but the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. Right, and when they finally establish their new world order, and they get most of the world to take the MOTB, which is the CHIP, the RFID C-hip that goes in the right hand or the forehead. Okay, you know, that's when they think they're going to rule forever. But no, the Lord is going to cut it short. He's going to shoot them with that arrow. That's that thermonuclear destruction of America, all right? And the return of Yahushua with the chariots shooting laser beams at these Edomites, at their different monuments, at their armies, you see? All right, and this is verse 8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. Right, and their tongue is falling upon them with all these truthers that are out here right now. Edomites themselves telling on you Edomite elites of what you're doing. You see, your own tongue shall fall upon you, and all that see you shall flee away, man. People are afraid of these Edomite elites, man. People are staying away from your toxic foods now in the store. You got people, they don't drink soda, they don't drink Doritos, they don't eat fast food anymore because they're afraid of all the chemicals you people are putting in the food. You know, you even got people that you know, are minimalists. You know, they don't believe in technology. They don't even, you know, they say the radiation comes from the phone and goes into your brain. All right, which is possible. It's very possible, man. This devil's wickedness goes far. Okay, but you know, your own tongue falling upon you, and people are fleeing away from this man. This man, the devil, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right, so yeah, man. I know this lesson was all over the place, kind of, you know, just going into different, you know, things. But hey, that's the scriptures tell us all about the wickedness of this man. All right, so it's about time to wake up, Yasharallah. This man is no God. He is a man, and he is a base man at that. All right, and soon this man's kingdom is going to go down the toilet 100% and be destroyed in that thermonuclear destruction, man, which we see signs of this kingdom going down. The economy, all right, the morale of the people, you see? But, you know, we're very close to Jacob's trouble. We're very close to the MOTB being mandated, all right? So stay strong in the faith. Keep believing. Keep the faith in Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, right? And, you know, stay strong, man, because these days it's only going to get worse and worse and worse until the end, man. So I know we're all going through our different versions of hell, but it's all to build us up in the end, all right? So I pray this lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect. I want to finish by giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachakwarash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us this truth. And shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom wa abba babal. Shalom.